Kakreya Bomiha say, hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night, due to the time differences. It's I say, we are see for different, need to know. And then I have a special guest. My motivational, inspirational, no nonsense, Mrs. Ketchley Bakope Obaapa Sika educate one. Entido to say and net topic na yɛbɛka ho asɛm no yɛ adeɛ bi a yɛmu bebree ɛda yɛakoma so na to say sister Sika deɛ wahyɛ aseɛ kyɛ sɛ we're talking about a lot of the women empowerment, different topics in kwan a yɛmmaa no bebree betumi afa so a ɔmo nso ɛde ɛbɛ yɛ ɔmo ho adwuma na ɔmo agyina ɔmo nan so enti no to say ɛno na yɛba abɛpɛnsɛn mu nti no ɛngyina ha yi a we say there is the tip of the iceberg nti no when you go on Sister Sika's program now, then you go see a lot of your friend is saying punchlines. But today, she's bringing the punchlines here also. And Sister Sika Etiquette, I am honored to have you here today. Mema Wakwaba.
Sis.
Yes.
Any abusuafo nyinaa New York fo yechia mo. Sister Adwoa mensa page fo nyinaa me chiachia mo nyinaa. I am deeply humbled to be here. Enti me chiachia abusuafo nyinaa. Thank you so much, Sister Adwoa, for bringing me on your platform. Wenyame enhyire tiefo nyinaa. But before I start saying anything, abusuya mesremo. Sister Adwoa mensa onchiri stars. When you're allergic to stars, until we send in the stars and can any bedroom home pa. Sister Job, a domens and Cassese, Kubua to Pajenjayum, 6 Marchi. 6 Marchi pa, ye ditiawa, nedanka, and swimming in the chino. Let's say, be diagro, ama, why entertain you? Where's ye be free as someone I ever can. It's Miss Row. A Sika made me a good girl sometimes, but she said, a gangster star. That is the mood for match. It's my stars ninsu, my love heart insu, my share button insu. Na me who say, Adena no, a sumbuma kakra. It is this Adwoa. Maybe I won't talk too much.
Hey, today you go be the one who is going to be talking rough. And then the program now is all about you. It's here for any other phone when you are no mintin stars. Okay. You know to say like mobile no more support and only a part of women empowerment because ye bibi na se betimi aboa ye okwan bi so ane support no ye kromufo ye nim sa de ne ye ma ni bebre no pull down syndrome sabotage and no ne so many things se nya mi a enye obi enti no kitwa bi ensa wo de fa 5 stars so pra ma me meje meda wase nya me be hirawo e wo 5 stars no enti no ma me change a setting no na ha ne memu no mu say you because Sister Sika sanya ne ho ayefe no ho because me African traditional ya fi de asem bi eto me nka wa ha nya ha na ebeka no next time yeah some into ma obi akwa mun share program no mun invite friends because a topic no your topic bi a eda yakoma so esa say your society no the community no sometimes you move because we are programmed wrongly. But being programmed wrongly does not necessarily mean that we need to settle for less or just not acquire knowledge. There are so many resources out there. And when you go to Sister Sika's platform now, the programs she has done, some of them, she comes impromptu because she's feeling it. And I love her for that because sometimes I'm doing some things and I'm feeling it. And instead of just coming right away, I'll be like, okay, I'll talk about it next time. And then when next time comes, I don't have the vim, to talk about the things that I want to talk about, because when you're in the mood, that's when you need to express your desire, your needs, your emotions, and people will understand. So we're going to miss the language and stuff like that. Sister Ska, in my and again, I am so honored for you to be here. I didn't sleep last night because I was so anticipating today, and I was like, you know what, the way I'm anticipating this, I hope I don't come up and mess it all up. But I think I'm in a good place. When we talk about women empowerment and women not being sex object for men, like from your understanding, what can you talk about, or how can you go about to explain things in details for us to have better understanding, ways that we can go about to just take this label of us and empower women all across the globe. It's not just Ghanaian women, because it seems like everywhere you go, music videos, posters, pictures, it's like it comes to women, we are being exposed all over the place, right? But then I don't see any pictures, a book of porno pictures, whereas men alone, they showing us the legs and everything.
Enti asem ni nyina sister me ka ni twi first me wi a me de brofo nso so aba na omo nti twi papa no nso ate ase aha asem ni nyina ne se wonyame bo wi ase no odi kan bo be ma no no awo ho a afi o hye niam ase ne ana niam ekọ no ohunu nse be ma nko antimi ntina nti obo ba kan no ho so o me yes so boafo emfa ma be ma no. That was the whole plan.
No,
but eya na ma no ye ho te se sabi o akoma na ewo be ma ne ho no eno na be power oba ne be ma nyina oba ntimi nyina wo no ane na so di se be ma ka ne ho ansa. But se sa na nkanyame person ko planning na ade ne ma ne ya, to me, to my understanding no nkanyame be Siamese twins nkanyame bo be ma no o ma ne da ya no wo bo ba na ka ne ho no na nka oji mfempade no anse dan yini nyina na chese o form ye no na nkoma they will have 3 legs inti enai ba ko side ba ko so other side na ba ko na wo mfimfin no ma share. But as you and I can both see, sister Adwoa do mensa ti hui ne nsa ye mienu emie 10 fingers, 2 hands, 1 mouth, 1 nose, 2 eyes. To say a man will be 1 brain, 1 head, we the same thing, right? And she said, Nyame etimi aboba to be an independent individual. One kasa o wakuma wo de home, wo de ye wade, moje di umu fusani, tetramada bodwem. You have a brain that you can think with. You want some dia. Not to say you're an independent individual.
That's right.
Think about the fact to say we oba. You're an independent individual. I want so betimi you see sa de we. Edi aye bibi di ama wo ho. Yen titi ye na ye nyaye no. Your culture ne ade no. Sadly no, the sad part of your culture ne say a man have always been groomed from generation. Wo hwa me nana mo abreso a, because me nana kasa bia na yesalo no kan say oba de sese school kura ha ho papa. Oba de at the end of the day aniema mienu ana abeye wo be ware. Wari a obego wo de ani se obenu aduane na wa hese ukunu ye okay keteso agudie nso ba na ose ba mu mana no aba ba mu ye no wadi he sa time no se wo ho baaye se wo ho ama se ohwie gu mu se wan hwie ngu eno no problem wo no wadwuma ne se be ye somfo na satisfy them. Seriously speaking no nyame a me ne sister Adwoa do mensa ye som no ye no kwafo. He's not a mean God. He's not a horrible God. One we should just come and live one as I see so and just be people that are enduring life, miserable life, because we are some for how when you one me slaves. No, my understanding. But a nam santity a free and generations now, unfortunately, no. Since a man call my name, no, as a still no, part of your culture, no, for some funny reason, no, that's part of our culture, and to me, I'm free hope. And went to me and free where that's so and my free say so obey to me aye nipa obey to me aye juma obey to me atena se no survive ya just a bear can no answer man can one one kasa de woni adwene a obey to me using adwene just a bear be a maybe or how person your project cry just a bear man go ahead and sign away menya juma and na me menya juma. Do you need a man to tell you whether you should work or not?
No.
When you are an independent individual. But say wo free fie bi mu ayetete o say so we oba o we a bema o we a nipa first and foremost you're a human being.
That's right.
As a human being no wo hia niema wo be ya wo de be survive.
That's right.
It is survival na kire say ye adwuma na sese wo ya aye. Ye school na sese wo kwa akọ bibi sese wo ye bi e be boa wo se ne be ya wo ankasa wo be de wo ho na wa ye niema de ama wo ho no a.
Right.
You realize that we're equal participants in our relationship.
That's right. Help
me. There's no difference between what men and women do. The only difference is what I say. The roles are different.
That's right.
Not just but say kon ni ho a me hu so obi wo ho a etire abeda abehye ne koma so da. You need a neck. You need a structure for the head to sit on to survive. And that is the neck.
That's right.
But you can see, say, we're supposed to complement each other. Sister Adwoa Odomensa ni kunu ho. Ebia Sister Adwoa Odomensa ni kunu no. Onsha da nya de we aduane no a. But he's good at fixing things in the house.
That's right.
To me, ehye nkonya hye table. Eno Sister Adwoa Odomensa won't me nya no papa. It is Sister Adwoa Odomensa be no aduane. Na ni kunu ahye nkonya ni table. Sister Adwoa Odomensa be no aduane. Be man nso oh I can help wash the dishes.
That's right.
Na nsaba. But your community ni mu no. Ya ma na kwa akoye se wo bad ye. You are only good at one thing, satisfy a man, period. That's not how God intended it at all.
And clean, that's it. Be a housemaid.
Yes. So it's that is where all of that has stemmed from. But say no, say your community no. One thing that we lack and continue to refuse to do is to acquire knowledge. Nimdie. Get knowledge. Nimdie, penimdie, tonimdie, nyanimdie. Shesenia will be ya nadie. Ask questions. I didn't know brofo madie because me now for baby ya ma muni mediane no. Me boss me ne ye adwuma sese wo ye bema. Wo na ye chef woni fie. Ne yiri ne mediane no.
That's right.
They don't know how to cook. Nothing. What to be no akosi akra man. One na catch them. So ono na share kitchen so because ne yiri ne mediane no.
And he's helping. He's doing that.
Yeah, he cooks. On the no aduane 5 for bopelsi me koye me chef adwuma. Oba no be ye hoovering. Oba no de nkola no be ko school. Oba boa mama e homework. But oni aduane no. But can you imagine such a setting where African context mu aware no? Hey, wo oba kwadufo a wonim kwan kra ye na akofa na akoto ho so.
Oba or the oba ne de nafa baby. And as I had to break us a helpmate versus helpless. You know, the choice is yours. You know, this is some of the things now. A lot of times, we don't consider. Now, Sika, hey, shaky tree, so I don't want to stop you. But to say, brother, Fifi Benji, but now brother Fifi Benji, but or not the controversy in one or whatever. It says any here and also. To say a boss lady, evangelist Michael Enchi, aka Condemn, Mima also wakaba, brother evangelist George also mema wakaba. And I says I have for that to brow alpha brother Benji said our leaders knew all this. There is no way we can compare males to females. You see, this is one of the problems, a lot of times when we're talking about women empowerment, the assumption and, the conclusion or the accusation, like everything that you started talking about, there was no comparison. But because the compare stood out for me, Brother Benji. You know, like everything that we're talking about, we're not comparing male with female, you know, because there has been a lot of times that women in everywhere across the globe, women has been suppressed, oppressed, you know, like the way that we are subject to only sex, because that's how most of our men talk about. It's like, Oba, there's and they say, oh, Ariana, you have identity. Even that we don't have, right? You have to be married to have an identity. And then all you were good for is to, you know, for us to have sex with you whenever, have children, clean the place, do that. So it's like when we come to that, and we're not going into comparison. Your thoughts in that, sis?
Masema make nyina no ana wa waka no. There's no comparison between a man and a woman. It doesn't even make any sense because already no with the be gina ho na the obe gina ho a enufo ti oba anim. A lot of the time they don't have
They have nipples. Nipples.
Nipples they have, but enufo semi dey etua manimi, they ain't got none. Wokọ efiri ne belly button no so kwa ase ho a ade bi tua ho se doma ema ye ni bi ye de ne ya apple e hye ye nantem ye mie ho a wonhunu enti already no there's big difference between oba and bema. The issue is not about comparison. The issue is we not being made to look like co-equals, and that is the problem.
That's right.
Because a man and mema yesi be ye helpmate yankasa bema wa ha and oba wa ha. That wasn't the agreement. You are co-pilots of a ship or a plane. And I'm we co-equals. Where you in the row, now we're so I now boom, then things move forward. That is how it is. But see a man in now quiet to say the man is the head. It's without the head, you can't function. The men should also understand that that head also has to sit on the neck. It is a neck. The head also cannot function, and this is why you're supposed to be co-equals. It will be BM. The fact is that Bema one physically doesn't mean say Woba is less than because she may not be as physically strong as Bema. Two people are contributing to a table.
That's right.
Obi di ntosuba, no obi di mekwaba, na mo di abom, na nkwan na yede. There is no incline with mekonkwan.
No correct.
Neither is there no incline with ntosunkwan. It takes the two mixing up together to make incline. The issue isn't about comparison. And I'm really sad that in 2022, we're still not getting this thing that when women talk about empowerment, it is not about wanting to suddenly be turned from women to men. No, we just want to be given the due recognition. Say, we are helpmates.
That's right.
We want to be equal. It's all we're saying.
Most definitely. And we want to be recognized. Like, don't recognize me only when you want sex. That's when I'm important to you. Because, you know, we have some of our men, you know, some of them say it, you know, verbally, you are only good for sex. I'm only with you because of the sex, you know. I mean, like, you can love someone and, you know, verbally, emotionally, psychologically abuse the person that you care for, but like I just don't understand. You have Sister Sika, there was a place over a decade ago, my former place na me ye adwuma wo honom na me share adwuma se ncheye. Enti no best 3 months I me share adwuma na se na omo offer me full-time position because that time so na matena fie over 1 year, you know, I have a lot of bills and not just up, so I needed the position. And courage on my me quiet adwuma wo honom not just manager no wo honom ye bema your friend is saying Black American. And you know, I was really happy with the place. No, not just Omupentokwa, very a physical and verbal, to say you always have to be alert. Na intino, and I catch them, I have a reflex. Don't come from behind because to say no back, I'm here to say you find yourself in the hospital. Inti one time na penny catch me say because maybe over time by me cast me over time until or catch me say oh some over time and remember 3 hours before my regular shift, which means it's uncle was school building no a menkwa and I may want for the time being but me could do on not penny but I didn't think of nothing of it and I Nkulani be me foul mo laundry, me share gloves na chese, me share say me yom laundry, send ye be yom pon ba. They will be able to have more recreational time. Instead, say they have to do their laundry and only take it time. Maybe it's a trigger for them. I was just trying to like get ahead of it. To me, sing granny be your Mary, instead, me laundry room, nam they call boy, you need another boy in a shame, name person I'm shall say, me born in your man. Before I know it, they me who answer me cough. And somebody tackle me on say American football, no, kita ball, no, now will be a tackle to the they me who answer be a tackle me and make up for me. So my only thought and say, me de me sabe brace me for no, and yes, I can remember back of reform. See me de me sabe brace, na nipa ne turning me quick na omo training, omo friend TCI training, how to protect yourself when you attack. And or turning me na happen na me pushing me na at the bash into me the mini eba me boso. No, so a TCI trainer, and he knows how to get you to like, and he or damn so and the wall presses and your bay me no ebe hate me chest into say hate ya.
Now
And I mean so I'm trying to push him very strong man, me piano Mrs. Sister. Me matadi sheme, it was soaking wet. I'm trying to push this guy off, and I'm thinking about the 3 hours and son and kolani be free hono, be free school aba and I said staff ukra beba. Na nyame enchade a social worker bi o hono no basura be clock in. Enti no obi epono na papa ne tie no ase ehu to ne so nti o sorry no me sorry kwa me nyini se me de me nsa ne sorry e fe se me free say kwam nti me free ye che se matad me shirt ne me pants a me she nyina afo and I'm kofa me back me clock out na me call your friend is saying HR and I'm call a complaint nti me call fi omo ma me be so almost a month off with pay. And he told me colleagues and they say, me makoka asemato so. So one kind of truthful. I have like this is your problem. I was a victim of sexual assault, right? But I was getting phone calls from me and my co-workers to say, me and me ba na saying na chese me pesi ye papa nedi. Nobody asked me what happened. And one time, Sister Cecilia, he know your program, Smart Choices, and I share my experience. One of the male person that came on, the first thing he said was like, "What were you wearing?" And that really set me off. And that brings me to my next question. Does it matter what clothes are? I mean, like his question was insulting, disrespectful. And I proceeded to respond back to his, ignorant question, stupid question. He cut me off. And then once he finished talking, instead of me talking, he called another person to call and then went off. And that really rubbed me in the wrong way. So I finished talking anyway. I was like, if I choose to walk in the outside in the community, but I'm saying I'm not going to do that. But if a woman chooses to walk butt naked, nobody has a right to put their hands on me. I'm not inviting anybody to touch my body, right? But the fact that as a typical, man, no, you move for men, man, question obusa me no na say or no part say ebi asade no happen to me. it's I say atade a mehye. I mean, nyame anya madoma nkasa ada no papa no rape me. Straight up, because 3 hours, no be any building. It was just him and I. So I'm thinking, social worker, no, na, well, decided to come up. I don't know. Yes, in your middle, I know though, because I don't know, Senka, I'll be able to continue to hold him up because you'll be our yes, training into him how to weaken someone. And he was pressing my knee towards my chest. And at some point, it will be painful. And I would just have to let myself go. Right? But to say that was what the person can come up with. What were you wearing?
Sister Adwoa Mensa, you know the kind of person that I am, and me person maba show so me hufin, but things like this set me off too. They make me really angry. But I have to think on the wider context and what we're seeking to achieve here, which is education and removing this stigmatization of the woman as a sex object and turning that around and seeing say or buy a valuable asset.
That's right.
See, I've had to swallow a lot of choice words that I would have had for that. Because education,
it's important. Very
okay.
good. Yeah.
So the thing that is happening here is that, and no namidi kind of make can say, both men and women have been made to an in Obaapa case, Obaapa believe say all you're good for is sex. All you're good for is to pleasure Bema. And the ama mema no so ate ase say subuafo na nyame boy say wo masa so no meye no. It is because kwaku donsuo no ohia baabi akɔhye, ohia tokro bi mu akɔhye. Wo na tokro ne ye de ama wo nti no oba na tokro no wo no you own her. So every time kotia no be sore no, make sure say ubenya baabi tokro we ye wo dia wo de be hye ho. Now, here is where things have to change. This is where the mindset has to go.
That's right.
Yeah, Ghana for Africa for Nipa in general. We want to copy all the other things that you co-equal so no more brunechino.
No correct.
We want to do Kumerica. We want to do a friend is saying Halloween. We want to do Easter. We want to do Christmas. You perceive a di Valentine na. But when it comes to a near man also so a yard this ya di hunwa yen ye bet media buy a culture nim send ye buy a near my best for the better ne dia. A what dear yam perceive a bit ye dear no beka home. We want to learn the things that are not consequential or monumental, that are going to change anything significant to be our life. With the Halloween and today, with the Valentine. So what? How is that changing anything? How is that being impactful and educational? Changing your mindset as people. You can't eat your cake and have it. That is one thing that men are not understanding. You can't want to turn a woman into a sex object.
That's
but then
right.
At the same time, who person no ye equal participant. Who ware no a, no so compare jumanye, no on support you, no on wow, na mumpe japade. And then on the other hand, you want to have sex available at any time. You can't eat your cake and have it. So that is the first point. Secondly, send your mini abane kan. Send your member to Timmy share supporter and answer boxer shorts. Edikojina ekwan ho. Ebia Ghana obi them no obi befrewa. Yetimi beye na se ya bebom se obra ya obi hwehwe. Otimi de ne ho saa share boxer shorts no apia kojina abonte.
Nobody says anything.
Nobody says anything. Women should also be able to just get up. Na nufo no so tuamanim sa. Say come ho. Na me so ma share panties. Na me so ma kojina abonte. But we don't do that. Fine. But whether Sister Adwoa Mensa turned up to work that day, not wearing anything or not, that guy had no right, absolutely no right to do what he did.
Yes.
No right at all. And yes, atadia or say, when I hear a coffre, once yes, you sa and kawan kwan coffre. Even if she wore a belka from the top of her head to her feet. And Anna in loose. Curve be any ho, no abehu baby and no forward to one as a bear my dream bonation trim. They will still go ahead and do it because they feel say sister Adwoa they have every right to have access to that thing whenever they want to. And that is where that is where everything starts dropping from. It is about time that men realize that just like they have control over their bodies and can decide how they feel and what they do, no, equally, no, because we are yes, so boafo.
That's
We
right.
also have that same right to decide who we give it to and what we do with ourselves too. And until we're prepared to say, shifting mindset, silly comments like that will continue to happen. And Sister Adwoa mentioned, as someone will it's not isolated.
For sure.
Yeah, you repeat obi akola totofifi a wenya 5 years kura wo kwana nkofo de enhya kwahyehyehye na ya ase ne ye ka ho asem wo Ghana na akola no oba we wakohye ne shorts wa ma na hye swimming pants ne sa neoma no. What are you expecting? Small girl we wa hye no de leggings wa ma na hye leggings ne a friend is saying short sleeve top. What were you expecting? Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Ti akola di agro wa bontin ko hye kaban slit. Anaso okoye gymnastics, anaso okoye PE wo school a won hye kaban slit. Ena mfanko. Ana bubu. When obi a hye bubu odi to amikada. I mean, let's just be real here. We say silly things and make flimsy excuses as if say men don't have a brain.
That's right.
The difference between a mema and the animals is the fact that when you're born beman or will say you should have the ability to have self-control. That's right. The difference between animals and human beings. So any man who asks a silly question, say, what were you wearing? Not just a person will ability on who naturally me say we he goat. Good to me if I watch in him fan near Juma. Yeah, who say, what am I? No, let me readjust because I'm a human being. Oka sadia na sa na wo patch say sadia way it doesn't engage. Enya adwuma. That's what you're saying. But if there's your friend is saying a hierarchy between animals and human beings, that's a say nipa is different from animals there. And your men also should take responsibility and accountability for themselves and begin to engage this thing. Because a na yes adie no ko hu oba oya ponchi no afro no by force. And if she doesn't want to, she would challenge that. Say, look, I'm not ready for this right now. It's if even animals do that, a man also have the right to pick and choose. Nipa will be kwakosha apple ni mu. It's asem na yesanity minia.
Oh, Sister Sika, thank you so much. Brother Fifi says something. But Sister Henrietta Gansa says something that I want to read out because it's like, thank you. She said it's high time the women knew her complete value. If men of today want working class women, professionals, then we also want helpmates too. That's right. And Sister yeah, for that to respect it, I mean, like, and it's so much. And Brother Vivi Benji says, and this is like, I don't want to laugh because it's how many men already know women. He said, we already know women are our helpers and support. I mean, this is like foreign for me. How many of our men knows of this? Because majority of them know when you put it in percentage, not even 5% are receptive to that, or maybe 10%. The 90%, most of them, they don't even value and respect their women's, advice, or even a simple conversation. Kasa kra oni be ma ne be kasa no kwempo no. Jeze o musa I mean, maybe that's how he sees it as a male person, right? And men money be yeah, many bits are, but and yet we don't have that many of them. We talking about majority, right? Majority, no, this is inaccurate for me. Sister Sage Williams, will say happy Independence Day. And then Sister Henrietta came, she said, what is it that you men need us help help you with? Sex, cooking, washing, financially, then help us in what we do as women. And that's the whole thing. Friday, I normally go to a program, Dr. Says program in Sankofa Radio in Pemun Komodie. And, like sometimes even when if a female bring their problem, or the nasamuba, yebeka no, yɛbɛka bɛduru baabi na wobɛhu na afe deɛ akɔyɛ yɛn mmaa no ɛna yɛsi yɛyɛ biribi fa ho. Ɛnso ɔbaa na bɛka sɛ bɛrima na ɛnyɛ nneɛma bi. Eti no ayɛ bi wɔ hɔnom a Friday na na manya code nti I didn't want to like just get into back and forth. But it said mmarima ni bi no ɔmo perception is say, oh, so ɔbaa ama wo ne na kyerɛ sɛ ɔbaa no obi foforɔ di no anaasɛ ɔbaa no ɔmpɛ wo bi. That was most of the things, that people were sharing. It got to a point, I just stay on it. When they ask me a question, I come and, just talk about, and then it was just ridiculous. I was like, how did it turn out to be such way? Because majority, they don't think beyond what they have been taught.
Sister Adwoa, I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
You have children.
Yeah.
You guys are a couple. I don't think that your husband expects to say, what 8 hours, 10 hours adwuma abefi. Ono nso akoye ne de abefi. You then come home. Woni maduane noa, nti wo na abenoa. Fine. Mate mo ho ase. You then cook the food, feed the family, wash the plates, do the homework, make sure the kids are good to go to bed, and all of that. And now come and prep your own self for work tomorrow, and still expect to say, "Anaju de suomuno." Oba, naso wode ne ho beka 8 p.m. say, "I want one round," and na de amano. 12 midnight, I want round 2, na de amano. 4 a.m. abe sorry asansiesi who say wokon wo peje kopra no asanso de amano. I mean, it is not reasonable. It doesn't make any sense. Meanwhile, no, ono fi adwuma baaye no. Ode ne socks kura hyehyɛ ne nan na ode abetena akonya otie mu. And waso TV no aka ne na aboso no wash and watching you slaving away as if say we a maid servant bia wo boss abefie say wo feeding no throughout the evening. But that is what goes on in a lot of typical homes in Ghana. The women and men all wake up in the morning and go to work. Bema befia, oh, I'm so tired. Oh, no, akwatina kwenyam, ajiji adem, and also the na to coffee tables who share football. When you are banning in an acquire drum upon you, a mojana edi wo bema ni mwefusani, nerves na wo be no, veins na wo read you, and no be no banning so will be. Send ya wa breno, sa pepe na sister no swabre. But she has to come home. Woba ye na tade crash and what de mo akosija so ansa no akowura dem change into working gear ansa no akosha kitchen hot 3 hours me ka say she's sweating profusely like a pregnant fish wo bewie na fe aduane aye ready na de why wano asonwa no say ya no akotena dining table hu wadidi udidi wie ya no wafi dining table no ho oba no na be sansesa nchensin akogu sink mu atwitwi ameki sure sem kola no ye dware wo mu aye homework. I mean, how can you then expect to say after a woman has done all of these things obedampa no so a once a miemu no man na so na wo be ya o 3 rounds na hwe ni nyina gu mu na fe wo wi ano ada. It doesn't make any sense. It doesn't. It's your of course. So oba ye say adwuma nyina wi na ade asa no abada na say she's denying you sex. She has every right to, because you're treating her as if say we're a slave. She's tired.
That's right.
She is tired. She's tired. Marriage na mumu, it is 2 people who make that marriage whatever it is. Relationship a Sika mi wom say any fear ye titi mi mu no. My parents always taught young girls, and they say it is hand go, hand come.
That's right.
That's how it worked.
My
And
parents.
there was a time in our relationship growing up as in Kola in our home. Na me mami, also ya no pa kwa adwuma anopa nonso a. Sometimes 10 p.m. afi na no oba. She was a friend is a crediting officer or bank bi e Ghana. Almost sorry anopa nonso. 7 a.m. she's left the house. 10 p.m. Eda ebedu December cry say omo balance books dey to da bi a 1 a.m. afi na no aba. Enti most times no New Year's Day no obi an ne parents na me mama wada because she came back at 2 a.m. on New Year's Day. My birthday man who no. That is the home I grew up in. But me papa weye nyansani nti no he made sure say okay me yiri ni ho. Me yiri nso koye adwuma diska ba fie. Fine. Eti me kirade baby a wo kirade ni fie kwanwa ti okochirade na no opon a no wahwe Sika mu abehwese nkwala no. Are you guys okay? Didi? Do you need anything? Yakoye woba na ju no nwotwe na. Have you done your homework? No. Okay, sit down. Wani ye homework. Ya papa feedi yen or twitwin chansen mu. Or make sure say we're comfortable. If any of us needed to go to the hospital or any other thing, he made sure says ade ni nyina got done. One twen say ne yire emfiri bank ho no womre fie no womeya ansa. What you say? If other people, and my dad didn't grow up in any fantastic home, yeah, polygamous home, parents ni mienu nyina free. How have they been able to educate themselves and become knowledgeable people that are giving their own families different experiences? And yet Ghana fufuro bia o, the same Ghana no a Ghana na me no mienu ye free mu no ehwo no a and asade no esi. So my point is that if some people can make those changes and create a marriage that has lasted for 45 years and counting, it is possible. Woba nye wonye obia maid servant, woba nye sex object, woba nye anything like that. If you want sex on demand, and you're not your oba ne breso. Ti oba no ne breso. What's in a breso? Then you also get what you want. And your hand go, hand come. Another point that I want to raise here is that men don't realize that even in marriage, there is rape in marriage. Do you know that?
Yes.
Men don't realize that the fact that I'm married to you doesn't mean sex must be given on demand. It doesn't work like that. Sexual intercourse is a mutual, with emphasis on mutual agreement between two people. It's your banisi bra and I'm a bre me readie nyina ye me ya. Me mind na pesa me ya eba ba mu ya frog style no mean to me. Chicken style kra no go fit. Mosquito style kra mean to me nya. You have to understand that. You have to understand that. The woman is denying you sex. And now the other 2 bedroom awoka. What is the reason why? Is it that the man is being selfish, as a lot of African men are? All you care about is you reaching climax and orgasm, but don't care about who obano. Say yeah, because when we're a sex object, when we need feelings. Ne dia ne se toto ne ye tokro na esese wo ba mu nti he se emu foye se aye kuro se emu wa wobri mu nyina se wa anya hwe no eno de mfa ho wo dia ne se wa behwe agu mu ho aba no nko anehia, because that is the selfishness that we see from a lot of men. And women today are standing up and saying say sa kung fu die na edi na nanom
no more.
Emi maame mo ne me papa maame mo na omo ho ama no. Ye time no yes level don't change. Ubedi esa kung fu die na e ma ye ho ma ne bia ye ntwe ye mpene.
Most certainly.
Aha.
But they're not, most of them are not receptive to that. When you speak up now, a lot of our community, especially, you have both genders, they are receptive to women being, seen as sex object. Sister Yatubra says, the culture has pampered men that they think a woman is at their disposal to use and treat anyhow. And then she added workhorse syndrome. Women are so proud to show how good they are at cooking, serving, giving sex. Some have lost themselves, child, which is a evangelist Samuel Sunny said this is very big issue. Men's nowadays has turned women for sex matches. Sure, due to that, a lot of marriages are collapsing.
Sister Adwoa, asem no ne tintin ne ti awo mu a, and I'm so sad to say this, but man bi, and that is where the pain begins for me.
That's right.
Yamfa ne sister bi, yakoto sister bi mo na.
Oh, he said he meant sex machines because actually, okay, sex.
Yamfa ne say yakoto obi mo na, na aye abusuasem a ye ka ofie. Right? Ya frem penimfo ma ne mmema mpenimfo nyina abetena sese wo mon ka asem. Na oba maame penimu old woman wunnim how the thing is. Wunnim sa waware a utimu no. Ukunu entreat wo ye. And say growing up as a child no, you were used as a sexual object. Instead of these old relatives of ours, our aunties and grandmothers and mothers and all of that, no, to stand up and say, look, this happened to me and it wasn't right. And I have to change the narrative. I have to stand up and fight to say, in the next generations, no, no one also dear chili, or bad dear. Wasɛ deɛ ne sɛ wobɛyɛ somfoɔ ɛwɔ fie na wasom wo kunu wasɛ deɛ ne sɛ wobɛhwɛ fie tem bia wobɛka sɛ ohia wo bia no ɛsɛ sɛ woba aba mu ma no. When we're saying silly things like this ourselves as women, whether they are older women of different generations or not, how can things change when we women are ourselves fighting each other on this issue? That is the first point I want to raise.
Yes.
But the second thing that I also want to say is say, if you, Sister Adwoa Mensa, begin to say, it may be the case that other women have turned themselves into slaves.
Yes.
And sex workers in marriage, in the name of marriage, and want to make that happen for them. But me, Adwoa Mensa, if you want to engage with me, these are my terms and conditions. That's until you have for dance, so yes, sir. Yes, sir. I'm a man say yes, sir. Abnam require yes, sir. That's will be a beginning. Yes, sir. And there will come a time when men would understand that the level has indeed changed.
That's right.
But the sad thing, they say, who to you find the sour bread when you could discuss it, say, no, and now bra wa blintino. A man passwa goodino, a touchy macacra. It's the only way to rectify the situation. They say, Obaapa obi ama na be boa wo fie. To say be a weekends no. Obi be a Filipino mami be a obetua ne ka $200 every 2 weeks and answer every month, whatever. Saba me ne beba mo fie ho. Na nka cleaning na nka wo be spend all your day Saturday di aye. Ubema mami na ye no atua ne ka. Tell me be ya wo so beje wa home. No wetimi anya mre amade sana se wukunu beso wo ankoye ish kodwo misia me ya ana me fia me ya bia, and you be an active participant in sadie no. We women turn around and make you feel say you are less of a wife because you are outsourcing some of the things that you have to do as a woman to other people to do. Very silly indeed. Ese who help mate and answer who house help will fee and answer who subleti we adwuma bi fie adwuma bi de mo bi e bia laundry who come obi koye e de brew aduane who mo bi take care of some of it mawa. You are less of a wife because one kasa one salmon fifty, you are not sitting down profusely sweating like a pregnant fish, so that suddenly makes you less of a human being. And yet these same men want you to also work and bring money home, be an equal financial partner. Our marriage. Something has got to give at some point. Because a man, yan susum intini where you musen intini woman sumuhua, a thought there be a brimwa mupesemoyeno. We also have feelings, we have veins, a moja di a more fusani. And marriage, I know I mean you are ninking. Marriage goes beyond sex. There is more to life than sex. And that is what my mother is saying. There is more to life than sex.
That's right.
And nipa bebree free say wawari ebe tintim a eye nam wasem ne ma awari eni tintim. And this is why a lot of women in Ghana, unfortunately, ton wom ho de ma mema, because the demand for toto is there.
That's right.
They are supplying. They are supplying because in Kofo wa mu toto no. They are there. They say you see Adwoa be the hookup. It's not colorful. It's you per se a sister man in you couldn't come home. Now we have two couples. Now we have quadruple some and
that is
away.
nonsense.
Now we are away now. It is life and colored in Ghana. People are paying monies for this to happen. I'm telling you
about lack of boundaries, and I mean it gets to a point. I don't even go to lack of knowledge no more, because you have stupidity, because nobody is born stupid. People, it's a learned behavior. People, they grow up and they learn behavior, and then you have some dumb people with limited mindset who is going to fall for it, because they also I just don't get it when it comes to humanity. There are so many of them that are lacking a lot of coping skills. Sister Yatobra, when you were talking about women, bashing other women, whenever it comes to, women being, seen as sex object. Because one time I was on Facebook and I saw somebody who calls herself so-called counselor. There's one male and one female. Their name is really, it's not worth mentioning here. And then she's talking in terms of, how she's talking down at women, demeaning us, belittling us. And I was like, you know what, this woman, she needs to be evaluated psychologically and psychosocially, because she's not right in the head. She's being abused. So she has accept such perception, and she thinks that she's canceling people. And I'm seeing some of the comments, and I was like, well, she has breakthrough with some people. There was a lot of people who were saying, were more yay, and there wasn't the ones that said were against it was less than 2%. So it tells you how limited most people are. And Apostle Eben Inshira said he's with us 100%. He said, so sad. Women were not created to be our sex objects. I support you 100%. Thank you and God bless you. And then you have Sister Henrietta said, women have never fought for the right of fellow women. So it is time we fought for our individuals' right. Then the narrative would change. Thank you, sis. That's
absolutely.
That's what we're doing, because Sister Sika is really huge on that. I'm huge. We talk differently, and how our angle is different, but people receive it differently. But as she's mentioned, if you have her, myself, Sister Yatobra, Sister Amamansin, Sister Awumrekwa, so many of us, Bosley, everybody started talking in terms like that. The change is bound to come. And Sister Yatobra Sika, he will tell you it is a waste of money and you are a lazy woman. I think some of the points that you were making earlier. And then oh my sister, yeah, for that she used one of my favorite word, foolishness in Kwa, because most of the things when I hear it, they're foolish. And then Apostle said, yes, it's true, it's working, it's going on nowhere, which is What is this thing? I'm trying to delete it from YouTube. I don't know who they. I report the person, but it still keeps coming here.
I
Uh,
think sir, it is only fair that I probably give a little bit of a background. Maybe that is what is going to help people to see my standpoint on this whole thing.
that's
The
right.
reason
Sister.
why I'm feisty when it comes to all of this thing, they
Mhm,
say, the home that I was raised in, there were only girls, four of us,
mhm.
plus my mom and my dad. It's not me papa no or minority or a minority speaker. Oh, Antonio family name. Because there were five of us women and he was the only man. Now, as four women raised in a home where the two parents no more
Mhm.
what made the difference for them ne say growing up in a fear it is na me describing no if you we your body we dia we sumfo if you we your bema we na sese wo kopa adwuma now ye na this fie and women were doormats was our households ni mu no. They took the decision say they were going to change the narrative by going to get knowledge. Wɔn tu kwan ɛkɔ aburo n'akyi no, they saw how other people lived, right? They saw how women egyina piti and making change ɛwɔ kuro no so ɛwɔ aburo n'akyi. And even on the world stage. Look at people like Bill Clinton yere. Look at Obama yere.
Hillary. Yeah.
Look at Obama yere. Look at how these people, German friend is a former chancellor no, Obama. Look
Yeah.
at people like that. These are movers and shakers of nations. Almost ma Toto Krono bi no wɔn nyinaa nso wɔn wɔ.
That's right.
But the narrative that has changed, they say, they put themselves in a particular position. Say, we are not taking any rubbish from
That's right.
anybody. Yeah, yeah, ma. But we are individuals. We are human beings first. Yeah, yeah, nipa. Whether men or women, yeah, yeah, nipa first and foremost. Okay, now there's man and woman, but me yo bano. These are my rules of engagement. If you want to be with me,
Bravo.
these are my terms and conditions.
That's
Sister
right.
Abna Mrekua, mwah. Sister Abna Mrekua Beka say, as a woman, I am not living with a man who thinks I'm his sex object.
That's right.
There be 6 times a day no pa. 2 rounds in the afternoon, two rounds in the evening, 2 rounds at 4 a.m. I will give him. No. Wasu wanyana sa. Sister Abna Mreku asime were marriage mu, but as an individual still sat in the marriage, I want progress. I will make my brabo mu.
That's
It's
right.
yes, me ya yere. Yes, meboa. Yes, medo. Yes, me the toto ne bema on my terms when I want it with you too. But at the same time, meko school to improve my life. Meya juma to improve my life. I would be an active participant. You can't be, a friend is saying, an active participant in a marriage and give what you don't have. We are ba, that's a 1 year juma.
Mhm.
You don't have a source of livelihood. You are not happy because mama yare na wo hia $200 at the hospital or Ghana. Afei na ka sister draw do mensa betwen ama ni kunu abafie. Na wahwe ni kunu mood no so obetimi ene se ne kai na nimi. Betimi abisa ne scan na se na nye good day. I'm saying na oba e wa mu na ntimi ntwen 3 days. Ni nyina mama yare da hospital o. Ye gi o. Cash and carry. Ye gi. Sika na ama wo maame bewu. Wo maame anya stroke. She needs attention right now. Say wo kunu yi be wo hwe mood na wo kunu de awura fie ni mu na.
Mhm.
Ne
Mhm.
ntada nkoyi. Enti
Right.
wuntimi misa hwe wo ho.
That's
So
right.
now you have to play this game. But in kaye na wo so wo ye adwuma, e na wo so wo sika. Wo maame yare.
Hmm.
Wo kunu kura doesn't have to hear it.
That's
Wo
right.
ye wie no abeka chance ah. Bra ke mpacho. Yes ma yare ntimi di $200 ko. It's your own money. One kasa usika. And because of that, that financial independence that you have makes you a happier, fulfilled person. It's your dear son. That's a bra ke kwa sister do say today I want to tango. There is no argument because sister Joe do men sabe da hati knowing say ne maame wa Ghana no. But to me send this sika ye de kope na yare.
Without needing permission.
Aha. Sister Adwoa do mensa ni period ba na so ohia sanitary towel a enya afa no okohwe ni kunu mood akohwe se enemu ya na se no a manfa nam bebre ngu jollof no so ama black enti enem ko sire ni skakura wo mame aha
I buy
you
my
can
own.
go to the shop yourself
That's right.
and buy sanitary towel for yourself. But it is sad to say a man who we think that it is a man's responsibility say well no necessary was show and sana won't set me no. And when you have that mindset, of course a man will also treat you say we are a sex object. He must have you anytime. Because when the hell when a man will be an idiot,
That's
but
right.
when you are an equal participant in a marriage, where the 5 CDs, but now we also the 5 CDs are bad, you earn that respect. You have a voice in the relationship. And on top of that, I don't see any human being or what as is wa on pemwa. Share be. Ebi a ochina na bi ebi be start. But sister Adwoa do ni kunuti. Well, my bills in for the month here $5,000. I say bra king kwana kofa sa 5,000 in the befia. Believe you me. At the end of all of that, who sister Adwoa do to pa but no, because when him said next month another 5,000 is on its way. Where is the joy and the happiness for anything else?
Yeah.
Because as I saw 15 hours, 7 days a week. He's tired. And what we women don't understand that it's your young who it's your dream. Wow, what's one now? Opesa obi ba bema, adwuma, somfo, be beshaw. Ask yourself in 20 short years, say, if you have a son, Obano, you circumcise him, wayare, na the ne hospital, your school fees, they say, plantain, I fine, I come, what's yes, ready for bar. I feel when you're 22, banning you're 22, I bet now and him say, ma, sister, mama Adwoa, I have a girlfriend. Okay, girl no way, girl no abba. What does she do? Oh, she doesn't do anything. No one so a makeup.
It's
No, I
not
shop Brazilian hair 30 inches. No, I wear mascara. No, I see who know the abet now. Not would you chop pictures the go Instagram. So would you want your son? What brand no time I would do 8 days. I didn't call ya the track where could don't you know sradiane a free who I will ban a soon. You sat with him, wouldn't you share me? Now the Vaseline ya home. Now we any say what bread will ban what your school fees are quadri loan. Yes, I did in every and I will buy a doctor, uncle fire ma or buy 1 year. What happening?
No way in hell. Once a woman gives financial independence to her mate, it's over. So she needs to be able to prepare for anything that comes, right? Because you know what? If she's not prepared, then she's stuck with what she has.
That's right.
She will not be able to live. A lot of our women are desperate and they're dependent. Dependency is not something, it makes you weak. A man can tell you, lay down. You have no choice but to do so. So it's like, sometimes, I think a lot of people, Sister Sika, they lack of things. And I have a question for you, sis. One can ask that if women don't want to be treated as sex object, why do they dress provocatively?
The fact that women dress provocatively doesn't mean say that gives men the right to think that because she's wearing enough for her.
Thank you.
Toto one kataso. No. There are some human beings too. That's how they are. Me say, if men can wear boxer shorts, the abidina kwan ho. Obetimi share boxer shorts free ni fee. No, the abidina santasi run about. Or chain na downfall. One share singlet, one sachet, or the bejina ho. Then why is it that when women also do the same thing and wear knickers, just panties? And Brazil, utie ya na bra no so apata de bi ahye nufu no ho fofo no ho no so de bejina kwan ho. Why should that be a problem? You've seen women who wear hot pants. Literally, ne wohwɛ ne to ase a ne butt cheek ne nyinaa gugu hɔ, ɛtetɛ hɔ. Wahyɛ atadeɛ bi a ɛyi spaghetti straps ne ɛyi. Wohwɛ utumi hu ne nufuo nyinaa ne ne ho nyinaa wɔ atadeɛ nim. Ɔhyew de no, she feels that that's how she feel comfortable. Have you ever seen Brony Bema? Say ɔbaa bi saa nam hɔ na wakoto ahyɛ ne so say, hey, why are you dressed up like this? And answer me, I'm going to have my way with you before. No. So why should it be different with us? Why should we think, say, because ɔbaa na siesie ne ho in a particular way, no, and no man ho kwan, it gives you the right to invite yourself to want to have sex with her. Why? Men should equally use their heads. You guys should use your heads and stop making excuses for dysfunctional behavior.
Exactly.
The difference between human beings and animals is that you have this to engage it and use it, and something called self-control.
That's right.
It is a woman to me and engage self-control. Not just you lack discipline. You lack discipline, and you need to go get that discipline. What way? Yeah, yes, poison who near the good shop. Yeah, the nice jerrycan near the camera near the label above near the kosher shelf or so. No matter how nice a poison bottle netian, one castle. Yeah, you bottle no. Yeah, they are share transparent glass. I'm a poison na ya kononti wu kwako biano. You engage this thing, you use it. It's why is it that that same thing cannot also be engaged when it comes to a man or masho monta there to say send your mema musumutimi display mo de no ano mukoko so ne mo 6-pack no oba no so display for. Why is that a problem? Why? Use this and practice self-control. Enu na hu hia. Anya sa de ane ani nwan ne mponche ni nyina ya yepe.
Be the same. Sister Yoko God Wednesdays talk about codependency, and then Sister Yato brought moral police syndrome and judgmental. I mean, like that. The question that I asked you, the reason what I asked you, it goes back to my experience, what I have, and the guy say what I was wearing, which was insulting, something stupid to say. When some people want 5 seconds fame, they just speak without thinking. So it's like, Sika, you have said so much. I didn't even have to ask you much questions because you could say boom, 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 boom. It's like it doesn't make any sense to ask the same question and over. But what are some of the ways that we can use, put out there, give to empower relationship advice, for women out there, because we have a lot of women who are settled for what they have, because they are so dependent. We need to have self-love, I talk about everything because in order for you to produce anything, you need to be able to know exactly what you want to produce. We have women that are chasing men. We have some women that are chasing married men because they see married men as responsible individual. And I always say, if most of our women have value, right? They have self-respect, self-love for themselves. They are independent and they're able to do everything. Then our men will not have it easy out there, because if a man is not getting sex at home, he's gonna step outside, because that's how they resolve their marital issues, right? Their relationship issue, because there's always other women out there who is going to receive it. Like nobody goes to pharmacy, that's how I use it, and they get rejected because they have the money. When you go to pharmacy, you're able to buy whatever that you came there for, right? You don't get rejected. So the fact that they go out in the community, in society, and there are other women willing to give and double, triple give, right? That's not going to stop them from, seeing us as, you know, a sex object. You may have someone who has dated 2 Ghanaian women, and when they expressing whatever they go through, they say Ghanaian women. They generalize it like they dated me also, right? They put all of us in one barrel, like, you know, which is not accurate, but others are buying that.
Asem ne tintin ne ti awa mu nyina ne say, and I'll start with what you just said. Any power baby ko. So that's one point that people should never forget.
That's right.
Ni power baby ko. People think that we're just going to live on the surface of this planet and just die and go. It's ni power baby ko no. Say any choices that you make in this life, you know, you're going to be held accountable for our choices now we make here.
That's right.
You have chosen that you want to be a married man, right? Marriage. Marriage means to say for better, for worse. When there's a problem, normal human beings with this thing here, that is engaged, they sit down and ask themselves the question, say, what is going wrong in my relationship and how can it be rectified? It is only after you've tried to rectify it and rectify it, it's when you leave the marriage, with emphasis on leave, you end the contract with nipa na no work contract.
That's right.
It's not could be a contract. For me, to sit in a marriage and claim, say you are unhappy, and that is why you are going out to cheat, you know, it doesn't make any sense to me. If it's not working, why are you still sat in it? Why?
Exactly.
The thing is not working. It's not like it's going to change. So why are you sitting in a marriage that you were claiming said it's not working? You're not happy. And still being dysfunctional by leaving an unhappy relationship now and working anymore to go and be in something that is you think is going to give you fun.
Because that's the foolishness other people buy.
Exactly. I'm not going to be shy. I've said this. I'm not a perfect human being. I've been married before. The marriage didn't work out. I stepped out of it. It wasn't working for me. It wasn't feeding me. It wasn't what I signed up to. So I left. But I wasn't going to be in that marriage and then be cheating on my spouse with somebody else. It doesn't work. It hasn't worked. But me free, mono. I had a lot of backlash. A lot. Because of that backlash thing. And sadly, so the yes, our backlash.
Crashing on you, victimizing.
Nobody asked me, say, Sika, why have you left? Oh, it must be that you're very unhappy. It's not working for you. Nobody asked me that question. You should have made it work. You have failed as a woman. Those were the silly comments, Anamiti.
Or how can we help you?
Exactly.
You know, like
question. It's your fault. Forgetting it takes two to tango. It is all your fault. It's your fault. You failed as a woman and the fact that I started with at the beginning of this whole thing, and I'm now answering your question, Sister Adwoa Domens, and said, what are the things that we need to do to empower ourselves? The first thing is that Mr. Africa have refused, with emphasis on refused, underlined with red pen, refused. See a penim dear. One penim dear. If you're not prepared to acquire knowledge, we refuse ourselves to acquire knowledge, you're dead.
Exactly.
Every day we learn something new until the day as our brain it dies and your heart stops pumping. That's is when right. And the one copenim diaminim say, I'll forgive you for that.
That's right.
But for as long as a moja edi umwefusane na techremada bodwemu na kotodetimi kofom sorry na timi ye ne sese wo ye bia de you have to learn something new.
That's right.
It's if you are not prepared to learn, you don't change, you don't evolve, you don't become anything different. Emma, you free say you fire colonial masters in some Ghana and 65 years. And people are so excited.
66 and answer 65.
65. Ghana is 65 years. People are so excited. And Ghana is 65 years. But I'm sorry, I ain't celebrating no 65 years. I'm not seeing what I'm celebrating because and yes, Ghana no se kurono. But ye nipa na ye Ghana for no. What has changed in 65 years?
No
The
change.
mindset is still the same. Limited mindset. It's the truth.
Sabotaging, stay there, jealousy, stay
Envy,
there,
jealousy,
follow.
and that's what is said. Nothing has changed. So what are we
in the back?
Yeah, exactly. What are we actually celebrating? What are we celebrating? There's nothing to celebrate. No credit on 6th of March 2022. No, as someone may catch them in your man say the only way we are going to move forward as a people, as a man, and take our rightful positions in society is when we start changing that we say. If it means going back to school, you pay for school, you go to school.
That's right.
If it means buying a book and reading a book, you buy a book and you read it. If it means joining BB, now conference be BB, where you're given the tools that you need to be a different human being, then that is what you do. But yeah, we don't value knowledge. Yeah, we don't value Nimdie. We would rather spend money on Odoshemawemu. We would rather spend money on Cabernet Lit now your friend or Odoshemawemu. You better Brazilian hair, you better makeup be a buy every brand you can think of. You better Calvin Klein. But yeah, in penny dear. Yeah, penny dear.
No.
So that is part of the reason. The other thing too is that at the end of the day, when Yamia Bo send and he says you are good and he sets you apart. I don't know all the big verses in the Bible. But the few verses in the Bible that I know, the few verses that I know, I try to make it practical for me and Kasama Brabo. How is this applicable to me? Nyamisi, he's inscribed me in the palm of his hand. I am a priceless jewel. Mesumbo edemano.
That's right.
So what does that mean to me? How? What does that mean for me, Sika? What to me, yeah, Bible no man be practical. Now may to say abstract book be a read. Then you are able to apply money to yourself. How can God waste his time? No akɔpɛ bɛrima fe mpadeɛ no ayi baako di ama enu fotu awanim toto hyɛ ɔnantem wama wadwene saa deɛ wei sɛ fa dwene use this thing, engage it and use it. Now the why on who say me the asasi so am bae medwuma ne say bɛrima ne kasa mimbi apple no mu ane mabie mu. Very silly, very silly. Where di nyame atem mo amoyɛ Christopher man no a musi ho a mo free say ma ye dwuma wa asasi so nyina ne say ye bebi apple mu ne yesi bɛrima supporter ne yesi ne bossa shorts a wa hye ne 3 days a cobwebs nyina wo mu no. This thing you are not using.
That's right.
You're not engaging sadie no cry. It's one kasa as a human being. No, engage this thing, use it. Penim dear, number one. And secondly, no, see yourself as somebody I was sumbo edimenyame. God is so busy doing important things. So when near that year, what they best is adotiabe oba as if you are some useless thing be a one and but are you ready to take your rightful position? Because nyame won't force you be a you have to see yourself as who you are. No way Gina pity say, God has made me. Sister Adwoa don't mensa. Sister Ama, mwah. I'm so Sister Ama, so catch them, so about the hard.
She says brain for thinking. Yes. I think some of us their brains are inactive. You know, one time I said that and somebody couldn't share their views. They say, "What do you mean brain?" He said, "Like your brain is inactive," and I was like, "Well, like you repeating my words back at me, it means to say your brain is inactive because you have to utilize your brain, right?" But they said most of us, most people within our society and community, you have given some things, for in relationship from beginning to now. But like, what are some of the ways to empower women within our society and community? Because that's where the problem lies, and around the world, because a lot of times, people, they hearing us, right? They don't know how to take the steps. A lot of people, a lot of women don't know how to even accept themselves, their existence, because you have some of them doing plastic surgery, enlarging their buttock, enlarging their breast, because a man demand that. Their man wants that. So for me, when I met Kay, I told him, I was like, this is me. If you're not receptive to this, there's a path right there. Ɛkwan na ɛda hɔ no. So when you meet no, sɛ wompɛ deɛ wohu a, kɔfa deɛ wopɛ. So when you meet no, but mmaa dodoɔ ahe ɛwɔ yɛ society mu a ɔmo betumi I have that ability to do so.
How you see yourself. Then American women who would change their boobs and put breast implants, women who would change their lips to make it look thicker for a man's pleasure, and put silicone whatever in your butt, and what they ebimo de efene say unsumade ahyehyɛ omo tekrema so omo hwenim obi ya de bi kɔhyɛ ne totomu na be infected or they akotua.
I was just about to say Nichebano.
What they are shackles when it got infected, it became like 6 times the size of what it normally should be because infection. People who do that, they don't know who they are. They haven't accepted themselves for who they are, and that is the issue. How do you see yourself? Sika, I have a big nose. I have a big mouth. I have 2 big eyes. I know. Many to say magiatum. But this is it. This is how God made me. Mitirihui, natural, mpese. Nipa na wa ne me wo ho no. Oba ya nam se bra. Wosi wani jime ho. Okay. This is it, This is the package. This is what you're getting. If this is it, no makeup, nothing. This is what you're getting from day one. Are you ready to accept this thing? Say ya netie. Because wo de wo ba ye no, enwi bia ntua wa pampam, wo motorway magiatum. Wo si ahye magiatum. Wo hwene so magiatum. Wo ti so magiatum. You have a big belly magiatum. Etimi nsusu me die nie. Are you ready to ramble or not? But se nipa no wunyanje wankasa uhunniye. Me Adwoa odo mensa. Me amamansin say na metie. I am coke. I am dark. Me nkopa me hu for be ma bia se esese me ye kokko ye se me ma ne de. E ma no a udum light a utimi hu o mo wakete ne so no. Enu bi na mpe de. Then that is where the problem is rooted. The problem is you. Wo na we your problem no.
This time man is asking a question, which motorway?
So that is what I got. By the way, we a lawyer nam kohan send your baby a baby but under normal circumstances, no me jemu says ya a trimmer na ding dong. That is it. It is so. What's so one answer wounds? What's a me peniso? Me mean kwasha silicon biao. Nya fe na me pushi enufo na no na ehwe south no. Nya fe na ebe say na tie. I'm a almost 42-year-old woman. You don't expect to say my nipples will be looking like this.
Oh Lord.
And you say at 42, you say, and you say, na ehwe south. They say ehwe southeast. And Chebeko south. So say that here. Are you willing or not? Are you doing or not? Because I'm doing. Okay, fine. And you know, if you yourself as an individual can't tell yourself the fact to say na metie, take it or leave it. That's a woman bema who say one kasa won shada ni mu ho sa. We are ready. So wakasa sesan be sesan dia. Then that is what you've signed up to. But if you take a stand, and that is what Sister Henrietta said from beginning, no,
Yeah,
we women have to take a stand.
of
What catch
course.
bra case say netie ni nyina nie. Do you want or don't you?
Mhm.
Ama manse waka kire ni kunu ni nyina nie. Are you buying or not? Na no ano no.
No, correct.
But what chile say we are ready say be man si gi say utoto no penti enwi na e wo so yellow a. Okay. Then you that is your wahala because me ntimi nye. Me
Well,
dey na so nyina afudwene wasom. Say anete. He has accepted gray hair. They say enwi ni pra nye gray bi o white hair.
you know, sister Sika, stop. I cannot understand. How can one have black hair and then, Tonga National is gray?
Sure. You dey website am the one who be that. Meet me in my chambers. I will show you how it is possible.
Oh my goodness gracious.
You're very possible.
I keep going back to Sister Amma, what she said, because you mentioned that earlier. We spoke a little bit about, financial independency. And she, she came and put that down, which is, something that a lot of us are aware of, but many are unaware of. Who will who will slay with that hello total hair? Hey, the tonga is older than your face. This that was AJ. What did you eat before you come in life?
Nothing. I only drink tea. This is my tea.
Sister Alma Manson said the best way to empower is to
Rich financially and mentally.
financially and mentally.
Absolutely.
I mean, like sometimes, some of us, don't have that capacity, right? They don't even have, self-esteem. I mean, from everything that you have spoken about, we spoke about boosting women, boosting our self-esteem, right? Shutting down negativity, standing up, Sister Henrietta, standing up for each other. Sister further Atabra says, women stopping bashing other women, because most of the time, who are our advocate? You have some of our men being some women's advocate, but you find that most of our own people, our women who's supposed to be supporting each other, they're the one bashing us the most, right? We need to be like open and honest, which is something that some of us are doing, and it shows. I mean, you being here, it means that we being open, we have an honest conversation, real talk. There's no ifs and buts about it. And we leading by example. You go to Sister Ama's platform, she's leading by examples. You go to Sister Yatobra, Sister Awomerikwa, boss lady, we have some of our people, friends and family members, who support us. They don't do programs, but their contribution, they doing that. They leading by examples. And also, like, some of the things that we need to do is some of the things that I think needs to be more is for us to support women running their own businesses. I mean, Sister Amma Manson is, she has a business in place. She doing. I got my hoodie. I should have wear it today. We need to support them. We have Sister Yatobra. She wrote books, buying us to support her. The next one is coming on the 24th of this month. You buy for 99 cents. You share with 5 people. That's part of the support. Sister Sages, she has, her own authentic merchandise is also some t-shirts, nice t-shirt with our fabric, design and stuff like that. They're really nice. And so many of us, but we don't support each other. We don't encourage each other. When one comes and talk about their ordeal, they are victimized again, because you're going to have a lot of women, insulting, calling them a disgrace, labeling them and stuff like that. I mean, it's a whole lot that we need to deal with as women. And it's not just our Ghanaian community. Abroad America has a Uba has a pa and many be pan the way, especially to for no more has say no. A be much like warm and almost she said you may be a san your man almost she said no. As a will be a woko jinakwa who wakope be man wakudino. So intino to say some the send be more dress and near no. Obi wɔ hɔ nom a wɔhyɛ ataadeɛ no wamfa ne nofo so ankyerɛ a na kyerɛ sɛ wɔn dress right ɔkɔ asɔre dɛm a asɔre dɛm mu ɛhɔ nom ne yɛkɔdi obi because ɔkɔpɛ obi kun adi no anaasɛ te sɛ mmaa ne bebree ɔmo knowledge ne sɛ awareɛ edie, and I say this, edie ntumi mfa aduane nsi table so, edie ntumi ntɔ ataadeɛ nhyɛw, edie ntumi mputu roof on your head. Right, but it's a money been a dear no, and no the benya dine because if you super social media say dear ye no to know yes, it had the kotor dine, right? Into obia a bimudio try don't come. Right? How do you stir these people? We talk about financial independence and the mentality, but how do you give them that? Because some of them are not willing to even acquire knowledge, as you spoke about. How do we go around that?
One said they are not forward-thinking people. They're not thinking about their longevity.
That's right.
When I was 15 years old, me picture be better. When my say obi a drachi no member. Let me see if I can find that picture.
They don't a secondary school.
No my picture. That was I was 15 years in that picture.
Maybe idea me fan chere.
When we saw picture na make you saw it, so let's just go on here. We'll see so for you were there. Oh, you are still beautiful. Don't get me wrong, but I'm making a point here. Say time changes. Time and I'm year 15, all the way up to about 25. Na me here push up bra bia me di pushy and near man say what's south no dear ban off and no agina sunti atade and ye pam near your breast that woman. Then no akosha baby she. Now when I was saying 20 years later, no say many miles to bear. I will be a home.
I love your full face. Why? I'm going to come your cheek.
We are changing, we change. It's your more tom who say a day. What they forget is that and let the ufri so minister neto papano water wobema or dying wobe yes na. But 5-10 years down the line, you have everything. You've got the house, the car, everything. Wow, blah blah blah. You've done everything. You think say you're successful. And under normal circumstances, let your own conscience and your own mind let it rest so that you can enjoy all the things that udu totonukotoye. But the fact of the matter, and sadly speaking, is as life happens to you, you begin to sit down in your quietness, right? Now when you for support you, so kofa minister we could be president we no. So that time no ma so. Say why your mommy? Why woman? Say I have 40 years to be am pay because nkofo dear dukuru mu ama say no. Obi am community toto nobody want anymore. Yam fair no krantum chain. But what happens to you as an individual? No say Sika no one bre na unyaye. Sika no wo de unantem ne he unantem ene kopeye. There's something about Sika one kasa wo de wa hoodin so adwuma aye na wanya. There is this feeling that comes with money that you've legitimately made. That doesn't come with total aukoton. Because it's free money. You didn't do anything. Answer now so kangaroo style. And near the man. And no, there's no, it's cheap money now.
But Sika,
Yes, Sika wo sister Adwoa do mensa wo china wo betena se abetro report 12 hours. Tuesday 12 hours, Wednesday 12 hours, Thursday 12 hours, Friday 12 hours awie. Na afei no, se sika na wo wabrɛ wo ho a wanya. Bosomi nso ne etua wo ka. Pen da ho. Pen da ho. Okay.
Toto, Jadi Okano.
Me the $100 betia me phone bill. Me the 200 betia light bill. Me the 300 betia gas. Me the 400 betia colano extra curriculum activities, classes or whatever it is a car. Me the way better Adriani. Pen da home.
Yeah.
But sika one brenyan. Sika na one bre and now dinyayen. Within you foo. And cow sem. And there will always be people and noise around you. Oh yeah, Charlie, wako to Range Rover way, wako you say. What is Toto? You don't know what Toto is.
He knows
I will show you. I'm actually on your Toto where you are, bra. Wako be wa ham, I'm yet the way 15 years down the line. Now it is dawning on you. Say, me pa na me bie me nante mama sa bra we pa nko wonsem fata senko obehu masere ho kra se ne sitie nti ono so abedo suro me bi akọ nti we nso so adi bi Charlie I lose God. Hey, Ready Jesus, all these people, all this one, look at this one, look at his face, look at his nose, all these people wo mu nyina abedi bi abesene
they are personal. I mean, to say they are embarrassed with it, but they go ahead and do it anyway.
There is something that comes with hard work.
Yes.
Sika wo breye na unyaye. There is this dignity and respect that comes with sika wo breye ya unyaye. Ye uko bie toto ni mu a unyaye. Eno emfasa ade ne ma. And what they forget at that time, because they are so money conscious, and they say, and they will have people to hype them. Who didn't quasi as someone, but some be surrounded with a nipa, your best so on some phone. But when the wahala starts coming, where are the friends? Ye niha na sister, a friend is a Moisha. And maybe a chair, more quiet CNN, a interview with what's her name? I've forgotten her first name.
Yes, I was sitting here and I was like, hey, now, baby, I'm not can say the channel, what we channel, is she correct? Because it is saying, I am moving, we are hard workers. We have our own life. We not needy because Sika, I do my and Sika, I dream one sunny use.
Good.
Because one brand who no do check what and who you I won't mean who because a sound will sound the travel back for different from. So good. And they said, like, I was like, dumbfounded. We don't chase men. Independent women do not chase men. Just so people know. Dependent women chase men. Okay? And they open their legs like the pharmacy. Obiaba Obekobi. We love ourselves. We value ourselves. We have self-respect. We have self-assurance. We are knowledgeable. And we continue to learn. The only time we don't learn is when we're dead. We're no longer here. But most of you know you want to be controlled, dominated by men. And that's why, you know, a lot of men think of women as sex object. And a lot of men are intimidated by professional, strong women like us. You know, when we're speaking about something else, they will start talking about nothing that we're talking about, right? Try to put words in our mouth. We don't do that shit. Sister Sika cannot say that she said earlier, but I can do it. We don't deal with foolishness and stuff, but we're going to stick with the educational part. We speak our mind. You know, you have to be able to express yourself, set clear boundaries, expectation, you know, have mutual respect. We have to balance it. There has to be a balance. We need to talk about gender roles, because those are like important conversation. We need to teach our men how to treat us.
Good.
They don't get to pick and choose how to treat us, right? And then we shouldn't be afraid to be alone, because a lot of women are in relationships and marriages that are being abused because they're afraid to be alone. Oh, Sister Sika will know, say, I know I'm no longer married, so I have to stick with my marriage when my husband is beating the shit out of me. It's not happening. Being married, I have my identity before I married Kay, So it's like, you can't tell me if I don't have Mrs., I don't exist. That is a foolish talk from anybody who is receptive to that, right? And like Rami Abedru or Siapu, almost like, it's really bad, right? Sister Yafo, the breast a beauty phase, and then what?
Exactly. And that was the point I was making. Sister Moisha, be yes, I did no. Maybe some question. Sister Moisha, where is she? Oh, say, Atiafa, so say, oh, baby. Pie. This is the same person 3 or 5 short years ago. She was all over the place. When you Range Rover, no, when you're dying, no, when you're near money, now where is she? Oh, But enko kata na de no so na nko no so yes said no. I'm beautiful. Yes, I have a head. I have this thing. I have it. I can engage this thing and use it to get something for myself. And I'm a dear. And can I have more respect for ma or more ton dog chain, any chocolate, any home crony benina than waba okobi apple mumu bi afanibi aponchi anu edibi odwan nu edibi krama nu edibi and okra nu edibi everything under the sun don't chop you ade
too much, sister.
Ade
To say yes, sister, will can answer me. She basically avoided her problems, because when people start talking about omoche and omudi Sika, omoche no omudi nyadan, omoche no omudi nyajapadi, omoche no, like this right here, is our treasury. And that's the only thing that you feel will sustain you now. You're already like non-existent, because obiara betimi akɔmu bi. Enti nipa bi kura mpo ani kwa sɛ ɔde ne ho ka wa. Obi wɔ hɔ otumi kɔte yare. Deɛ ɛyɛ me ya nso ne sɛ, you have ye mema showerfoɔ no ɔmo nso ɔmo mpɛ rɔba na ɔmo nso akɔte aba na ne yiri bi ɔte fie na wɔdwe ne ho no. Na ɔde akɔma no si na DNA. Yenim sɛ mema mo kɔte is for edie any jonso. That's it. So that's how men normally think. Sex, and they use it to pee. So as women, we need to empower ourselves. We need to expand our resources. We need to be able to think rationally, and we need to be able to have strategic planning, realistic goal, deal with our problems, address our problems with effective communication and all that. But how many of us are willing to do that, Sister Sika?
And the reason for that, as I keep saying over and over again, is that it all starts with knowing who you are. You must be in a relationship where you've been talked down to, you've been abused verbally, and I said, well, I say, if you papa didn't see you as anything significant or special. And someone ebema wankasa wahu nipa ban a right from the very get-go. I grew up in a home where there wasn't a lot of money. But one thing that my parents had and gave to us girls in abundance is love. That thing. From Totofifi, my papa and my mommy, you're so beautiful. Oh my God, look at that smile. It's from Kwalabre, when him say you're pretty. Wo papa catch that will say, we your ba, we ya me fe, but kura wo na hwe wo so yi. What you say? So you don't need any other man to validate you. Me kai time ana me nua ketwa pa no when she was about 15, 16 years. Shankus na egu n'echi no, back axles no, na nya asem ketewa kra. Ne mu nso ye sei, ne mu ye ketekete de tu bebre egu n'echi. Wanam na bre bi o te taxi mu, taxi driver, obo no so aben. Sister, sister, me nya na ye say as won te so wono no wo frɛ no. Afe bre ya begina pe pake ne car, me nya na besen a. Sister, ho ya me fe wate na wo kɔ hin na me nsi. Was I don't need a ride. I can go myself. That's why I'm walking. Was hey, ya catch that was so ho fed. You see, yes. Every morning I look in the mirror and I tell myself that I'm beautiful. I don't need you to tell me that. Thank you very much. Good afternoon. And as she kept on walking.
Wonderful.
Bla no we chire hweto ne sa say yeah then so yeah then ga ne de kai yakoshe gotamu. Afi no wato. Na babe yi na free gotani. You see the stupidity and the foolishness na make am. Ebi no.
That's right.
Afi no obo sister mo be pia me. Wan fi no kra. Wow. Silly things like that. Silly things like that is what I'm saying. Say, when you buy fit to fe no. Usini uni. And parents have this responsibility to let their children know from young age, 1, 2, 3, 4 years, to say, you're so beautiful. You're amazing. You're exceptional. There's something that will Adwoa do mensa. Unyini a obeba be ya na asase so. Enti kura save yourself. Don't give yourself to any stupid man or any stupid woman just like that. No, kura. Learn to respect and value yourself. When we start to tell our kids that from Totofefe na, obenyini aye penino. No say, my mommy taught me to value myself.
Right.
My mommy told me that I am a priceless jewel. God made me in his own image and likeness. And see, I love me for me. I don't have to conform. I have to be unique and set apart. Sanya me sit here. Me mpe broni hwene because broni ni hwene ne sanya tie no nyame bo ne sa. Emfata manim. And I'm from a broni here ne nyebinu bi na me here.
That's right.
So me de ne bones say sanya be ya me body no it can take enough oxygen here to function. And unti na me hwene ti say. It's if you teach your kids to love themselves, who they are, by telling them that every day. Yes, if faith comes by hearing the word.
Bam.
And you see a kind of first time. Oh, Adwoa don't hofe and no. Yeah, you. Every time you're beautiful. Respect yourself. Set yourself apart. Menko bio namu komo bia. Wait till the time comes. Be enough to decide who you want to give yourself to honorably. Yeah, Jumadin, ko school, siandie. We started kasa ansem ne chira oba fi totofefia. Yes, teach the kid the way he or she would go, and they will never depart from that.
That's
but
right.
Parents and one say, yes, it wadi, yes, so awadi, awoy in shire, wawadi, so you'll be a whooping to whoopie. That's it. But you bring exactly. What the akwalane ba won't children and titia papa. And titia papa also means empowering your children. That's who right. One day become responsible adults to say, when you so nipa baya nipa why was some body mount at the more no one can sound so huntino. Mamma never fan who mamma be a fan a banner for folisa. Respect yourself. These are values we have to learn from infancy. That's what right. We grow up with. What you see? It's your honor problem in I shall see free. You've been abused, No, sir. Even in that abusive, you've seen women that are empowered. Sister Adwoa no mensa. I'm a mansin. Abna Milkua. Sister Auntie ya for that. There are women who are strong and brave and bold. So some
oh yes.
Bisa na kopenim die free ni pakro nche. People don't want mentorship. People don't want anybody to have a you over them or because as a so tiaka. And now say, as a so no better contract now pay when in the bay, they don't want to pay money. And you're better now here. Yadinam yinam. If you want to be a responsible adult, now when him say yabre usunsumasiacha, go and find somebody you think you can relate to. Will be our no or what's our dinner will penny be to stand on your feet. Find that person. Then the panel church will so that you can finally discover yourself and stand as an independent individual or basima papebi. Ne jina sorry jina onaso. You pay freebies. And one freebies in Kwan. Go and buy a book for 99 cents. No.
And also I
Go and buy a book for $10. No. Cost $30. No. It doesn't make any sense. It doesn't.
It don't. I think that when it comes to our community and society, Sister Sika, to be frank with you, sometimes I feel like, oh my God. But you know what? We got to start somewhere to go somewhere. Oh my gosh, today I have enjoyed our conversation. Pow. Serious matter. Hey, trees is there, and then when we shake trees in Kwon, she say ocean, you just pick it up and flip it over. Nim dear, munim dear, so now next time, dear, see, I'm going to bring 2-3 people. Sister Mirikwa, you're ready. Sister Amma Manson, you're ready. Sister Father to Browse, you're ready. Boss lady, you're ready. We have to continue to have this conversation. Of course, I'm going to be appearing on Sister Sika's, program, because when I go there and she hosts me, I enjoy it. To say, sis, we get into the end, because we're not going to go over 2 hours. Just so you guys know, Sister Sika is big on her time. Adwoa don't me bad. There be one mommy. So me pons this time. Not just me kosoko. I'm learning gradually. And and sometimes in some sisters can be one money and to me and conclude. Because at the end, we need to. She needs to be able to put forth her last thoughts, right, about women empowerment, because here say you betimi empower each other. You move a brain this is informal education. Sika. Yes, my stars. My stars. I draw the way I'm platform. My stars. And then education and informal education. Sister Sika about women empowerment. Man, I have taken so much. I think I'm going to rewatch this over as I do my indoor exercise. Me the menim na me da form honum na me exercise and I'll do it and I'll record myself. You go see. That's me. I do that. I did one with Sister for the Yatobra, but I need to ask her permission if it's okay, because it's her contents I was watching as I was exercising. So I can't just go and post it on my page, I need to get her permission. I know she will say yes. I'm not posting it, right? Maybe I make Rebecca know, because maybe my outfit is not appropriate, so maybe you won't see it. Today for sure. It is Sister Sika with everything, all the content that you have put forth today. And I'm very appreciative, I'm really honored to have you here today. Thank you for your precious time with me today, and also your motivation to push me to do some things. Now, I was just procrastinating, but, you have definitely inspired me in so many ways. Each time I see you come on, I'm in country now, so I want to me ye adwuma na wo baso anopa na wo baso me ye adwuma me jani e me type nyina na mete honom wo be hu keti ase o se Adwoa me se di asem se ke kasa ma me ntie mi wi ansa na nti no me pon ana ma ye adwuma katra to aso se ne be ya me di be shem bada bia me nya hu se Sika is life Sister Ama, the time of no matter. Sister Ama, the time you come, I'm sleeping. Into me pre-recordings and kwana me say me sister Ama wo honum na me no once or twice bia na eja makota honum akotie knowledge ni bi ntino with everything. What is your last thoughts going forward? Because this is just the tip of the iceberg, is the beginning. We just going to continue to go until we are able to establish a bigger crowd, people to be able to kind of be their own. We're not saying say because no, you're independent. We respect our men. We support our men. We love us, right? First, we come first, and then we give them the care that they need.
Asama Amekandia Chato, and I thank all the viewers that have been here. I am deeply humbled, as I said, but me a gangster and sister Joe don't know him. And a good girl.
No, too much.
My good girl, pa, because I am coming to two bomb no and not in somebody back me no be
I was looking for the bomb, but she didn't bring it, so I was like, let me not.
My good girl. But as someone person me catch a man and said, seriously, no, send me start here, me the Bible shall see it. When yami a mo ma see a mrasa so. Say yemra near me a friend say yeme kwansum as if we are slaves to men or to the men agenda. You're an independent individual. You've been created in the fullness and image of Nyankopon. Oye Nyankopon ambassador ewa asase so. Enti Nyankopon brand na wo exhibit wa asase so yi. Bisa ho se wo manager we Nyankopon. Oba asase so no obehu akwadro na wo ye no. Wo na eya sorry dan manyame no wo ton di ama obi afofo le sa no. No oba no obehwa. How do you think you feel? And I said, we as I see you now, what will you think? Say, my assets are being given away to people who are undeserving.
That's right.
How do you win? Entino, a man in an solid pity, go and look at yourself in the mirror and ask yourself, say, why have I allowed myself, me ankasa me huno? How did I allow myself to go from here to here? What are the things that I am doing that is fueling this attitude that a mema de mame and I say me ankasa mama me ho kwan no mama obi etiti me say ye. So one no ho a obi ani ho a obetimi ado.
That's right.
You so obi no yen, love me, but you don't even love yourself. You don't even know who you are as a human being. So how can you be loved? When you yourself are not lovable. The reason why we're having these problems is because a lot of women are broken. That is the gospel truth. You are broken. Jitum say, I am broken. It is when you can accept yourself in your vulnerable, broken state. And I'll bet me a peja every brokenness in him. I know some miracle. You can say 2 hours, I got 2 minutes, not 2 hours, and that program women empowerment is a big topic. We can't just talk about it in 1 or 2 short hours because there's so many different facets.
There's more to come.
But oba jina onaso pedumaye na pe wan kasa wo hu ni Sika ni wade nyina na use saa de we hu ye ho adwuma se ne be ya wo be de wo ho be ma pese wo shaw so be ma pese wo bro wo tete wa wan kasa nso enam se wo Sika nti wetimi asori aka say, you know what, I'm not putting up with this no more.
That's
and
right.
You can walk away. But my choices, money gives you choices and options. So it's one kasa sorry jina wona so. Na yes adie we hu adwuma se ne be ya obedo ho. Na why product ambassador na nyame se be ya na sasi so no. Betimi aye ne yi na aye ni so. E dia ma ye somfo a wo wosoro ho. It's Sister Adwoa. Thank you so much for having me. I'm going to love you and leave you. I love all. I love you.
One love to you always. Much love. That's it. He takes it here. She's throwing it for me. What are you saying? I take it here. What I say, you know, to her saying now, what Kasa no I say. What Kasa no I say. He's taking the kisses. Go ahead, take it. Why? So Sister Sika.
God bless you.
God bless you. Rami.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Love you.
Love you.
Rami, I can't pick you up. Oh Lord. Jesus Christ. Okay, so Rami, it's not allowing me to pick you. Hold on. Oh gosh, I don't know why this is Rami. Hello?
Hi, Saga.
Yeah.
I'm out to saying. Yeah, program now say pese bi tira so kakra kabi.
Okay. Which yeah, me free soon.
Right.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
What's up?
Yeah, no my you know, the person me can be found sister Sika making point to be say who were and yes we slave maybe be honest. I share Ghana from me mamu bebre ma because like even me wa Ghana me nya be ma penini of 1 year o see clothes need dia saka me show pra any type e ho no ono akosent so the man ape na me ma comfort no mo say we told like we give me you know or yes money year so it doesn't work like that. So it's like my friend so what worry na say be man so see the dross it's not there's nothing wrong with that because Obama so ye be man. So that is now I was say the bias especially Ghana for me man is Africa for me man especially Sanomti. Me my dating Brony no all the time obey laundry amami. Aduane plan no teacher man omo do e de kama. So but Ghana ni any Ghana need tea now or no person chess away bema only start plan or person yen no big change because almost say Bible say mema ye tre and mema ye tre fine ye tre yes ye tre say a tea ever hoi say tea a trade na somebody can ho better than I ate.
Well, the head without a neck is not going to stand. And,
yeah,
you know, that's
exactly
what I normally say. You know, to say, anyone would see in crophobia, I mean, to say women empowerment, you know, we have a lot of topics to hit on. I'm just honored that Sister Sika was able to come and, you know, speak so much about it. And she went into great
maybe I support
details,
Sister Sika everything she's saying. I support everything she's saying.
Thank you.
Yeah. You can be like because like sometimes like yeah I'll say even price say koi from Ghana say bema be amana year say bia as a dynamic actually maybe Ghana na type especially any issue or you say you call sense you sa from call e aba type obeso sa na dia be go na me brother ye man year any bia near the basically behwe kofo edidi na tem say we Jimmy na or your Bermana or yes, I did a money year. So they didn't one you need to just my say a coach no yeah African culture and Casan, me man person man too much. It's a man to see your master son or your money are coaching. Yeah,
well, it's part of the mental enslavement. It's part of the mental enslavement, dysfunctional, limited mindset, lack of knowledge, and sometimes some of them are just pure stupidity. So
exactly, exactly. That's not. My friend say, maybe example. My friend say, "Bia, who who share and crown so maybe me uncle so or shopping amount Ghana. Make say, and I didn't know. Oh yes, I'm all ban. Ayo dog." Any bianin tiasie so and also count na person me worry me pa worry because me no me pe be mo be problem o be ka che me say men ko ho me say ho kra na me free bad e ho na me free bad ma so ade but at the same time you be an ko bi ni me kasa e dey make me abobon ko ko di ti sawo Bibi wa say bibi ya me for na me no makasa. Ono me kasa me tie. And Sister Aisha, ono me kasa me tie. Like those people like that, and also Uncle Ben to see. Ono so na me kasa me tie. Na ebi mu so ho no mo ka bibi ya che me tie da. And brother Uncle say ya bibi wa na me friend na me ka che na. Ono so kasa ono me kasa o say o ka bibi che me a me tie. But before we all mukakra na fe African my stubborn. So it's at the same time, like me, I don't see anything wrong with a man helping a woman, but still I'm your culture all the time. A man I will see a mema. Bema kwa not said almost what Jimmy. Only me, your doctor will show money wife and I said a girlfriend.
You know, Sister Rami, one thing to take away. To say be one man fitting from Sister Sika or Becca it's going to take us women to support one another. We need to like fight for each other. Instead, say Sister can't bash each other. No, I think say a lot of times, because most of our women, they settle for whatever. Like we need to move away from that, and it's going to need more conversation, more informal discussion like this, with a whole lot of us before we can start making heads with a lot of people. But I just feel that as women, women should never tolerate any kind of abuse in their relationship, marriages, with society, community. They should not be jealous, or be possessive. Women should not become I just feel it's important for us to become the person we want to attract, because if I want to look sexy, I'm going to do it for myself. Okay. I also have to appreciate everything that I have. We need to appreciate ourselves. Just love ourselves. Do self everything. So thank you for coming through. I love you.
I love you too. Sister, I am come and start to show the first because we call upstairs down. We still am me banner papa but me call shopping to try to do buy one or two things. So we do one man. I'm say check out so what and we are man starting from the beginning back cram it say me say maybe the minister Sika about it and everything. Right? Yeah. And our person or make it comment say meaning say or no and I say what. So bow cock see them up. I didn't tell cock see them up. I don't be a media meeting like I said, me what JSS time, mamma papa time, na boy be na me penny pa JSS. I don't like your shock on a dear kiss young cra, dear Granny. But set for now, me make cock see them up a semi. And my baby to me so mamma or obi kunkra no su say or Jenna him. Beman is one pet. And my baby so have mamma no, Saga, Jack. And my baby almost have mamma no spa too much. On bet 10 almost remember you a bit here or bet ignore is on pill or you're on pill. So like man bet for coin this should be brave, a sort of people. I think a man no bush no go should be a monk of show money. So send me pa ramen baba. Me cook a make up for them. Topia.
Hold on to your thoughts. Yanka said, right?
But me mommy, sister ya, what I have to wrap, and then me sister Saisha, brother Ankara, brother Dad, yeah, Munira, sister Missy, me tin and catch.
I won't no mammy say
yeah, catch us on shedding. Why? Shedding.
Why? I know sending a message in so messenger. Why?
Mate, why? Come. Why?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Bye.
Bye, sis. Okay.
Bye.
Okay. So. Bye, sis. Okay. Okay. So. Bye, sis. Okay. Okay, so what just? Okay, so okay. Okay, so what just? Okay, so okay. All right. All right. So again, Rami, thank you for coming through. Sister Sika Edike, Midasepa, thank you for coming through today. And I appreciate your time and everything. I want to thank each and every one of you who tune in. If you was not able to like acknowledge your name, please forgive me. It's not intentional. And your Sister Elizabeth, so by happy weekend to you as well, and happy Independence Day. Ghana say Drew your name, but it said on mine and Casano assassin that Ghana my assassin. Bibi any one no ma ɛyɛ ho adwuma, but the people within no ɛno na ɛyɛ asɛm, but mmaa no sɛ yɛtumi sua deɛ, we need to be able to support each other. Those who has their own businesses, we need to support them. We need to support them and be able to empower each other, because a lot of times some people, they will be ignorant, some people do not want to learn. So I'm gonna leave you guys here today. Just take care of yourself, do self everything, have self-assurance, self-control, self-discipline, self-confidence, self-love, do self-care, be independent. Okay, dependency and desperation does not empower us women. So bye, take care of yourself.